everyone, this is Jonathan from MTG Modern Ad Nauseam, and I'm very excited to start this third league. This video is our 15th video, so it's getting pretty fast. We're packing the channel with videos, which is great, which is exactly what I wanted in the first place, to get some regular video in, so we can get this channel going. So this league, we're gonna bring some spiciness in the deck. I've decided not to go for this league with the same deck again. We're gonna change, and as we can see, I've set up on the left side, I've set up our deck for 1-2, and then this deck will be the deck for the third league, so that I can keep track of what I've played, and it might prove useful in the future if we want to get some stats and looking backward a little bit. So let's have a look at this new list. So this list, compared to the first and the first one in the first and second league, it's going to be much less established, which means that we're going to play cards that we don't see that often if we look at the Magic database, like MTG Top 8, for example, or any other database that you may use for your deck list. And we're just going to bring a few ideas that we've seen here and there about Ad Nauseam. It might not be optimal because we mix things up, and not everything might just work together, but here we are experiencing here. So let's not worry too much about whether we have the most competitive version of the deck, these kind of things. We're just gonna experience things, see how some cards plays out for us if we like them, and then we can just refine-tune the deck over the next league. So what I've done first is I cut down one Phyrexian Life, which could be surprising because it has been amazing. League 1 and 2, we've comboed a lot with Phyrexian Life. We've managed to stall a few turns thanks to this. The thing is, what I want to do here, I want to play 21 lands, and my 21st land will be Mikokoro. I've discussed about that card in the last wrap-up. That's a card that allows us to draw a card that will also give a card to our opponent, but that's something that I believe which is good against both this card kind of deck, against Liliana, for example, and also against control, because this ability to draw a card will help us get Pact of Negation, and even though it helps our opponents to get some counterspell as well, we can't forget that our opponent has to pay mana for his counterspell, while we don't. So we'll just get an advantage by drawing cards, even though we both draw cards. I want to try it out. I have played it on paper, but just never drawn it over the past 2 or 3 FNM that I've played, so couldn't really experience it. I've seen people, I've watched video with people playing that card. It proved amazing in a few situations, so I'm happy to go. And for that, we obviously need to cut something, and I decided to cut Phyrexian Life. Playing 3 Phyrexian Life is also something quite established. A lot of people are happy with that. Of course, based on our results in League 1 and 2, it proved very useful, this 4th Phyrexian Life, I believe. But well, we're gonna try that because it's always very awkward to draw 2. So I'm happy with this. You can see that I've cut 1 spoils as well. So we're looking on 7-6 in terms of white/black combo pieces. Even though it's a bit of a stretch to call this spoil of all a black combo pieces. It's much more than that. But let's do this approximation here for now. And for this, as you can see, I brought a Mystical Teaching, which is technically a combo piece as well. Whether it's Angel Grace or Ad Nauseam. And we can fetch, oh yes, for those who don't know the card, for 4 mana instant speed with just a tutor, but a tutor for instant only, or card with flash. We do not have any card with flash. We could bring some very interesting card with flash, like Teferi, for example, something, a creature, 5 mana creature, that has a very nice ability, flash ability, and another ability that says that our opponents can't play spell during our turn, which is very relevant. I've never played that card. We might just try it out in the future, but here it's going to be for Angel Grace, Ad Nauseam, or Pact of Negation. Then our 8 cantrip. Don't want to spend any more time about this. And the land base. So in terms of land base, mana base, we have this 16 card, which is our 6 temples, and then 2 Seachrome Coast, 2 Darksleek Shore for Gemstone Mine. We keep our 2 plains, our main basic lands, and 4 City of Brass. So I've just cut down 4 fast land to bring the City of Brass. And why? Because we've seen that Samuel from the second place from the SCG tournament, he played 4 City of Brass. He played it instead of Gemstone Mine, so we're gonna go for a slightly different approach here. But I want to see what it is to be a bit more it's a bit more accurate in getting our color, because sometimes it can screw us if we don't have this white black. It's gonna help us definitely in terms of color. It's gonna hurt us as well. We'll see the damage done that way as well. And also it enters untapped, and Darksleek Shore, Seachrome Coast, after the third land it enters tapped. And sometimes we saw it against Infect. It was really important that we top deck lands that enters untapped. So I'm expecting it to be helpful here. And just a quick heads up. The ability says that it deals damage to us, so we can tap this land without fear of dying when we get to through the Phyrexian Knife, which means that it deals damage to us. Sorry, so that Angel Grace. So it deals damage to us. So we can still do it after Angel Grace, and it won't give us 2-0 life, because if it's a loss of life here, then if we do an Angel Grace and need to do a City of Brass, we might get to 0 life, and then if we need to leave next turn, that's just not going to be possible. We're just going to take effect damage for it as well, but that part is fine. Okay, so Mikokoro, I've talked about it, and then I keep my 2 Wincon because we still have Spoils. And anyway, Spoils or not, I'll always keep the 2 Wincons. 4 Simian Spirit Guide, 3 Pact of Negation, and 8 Mana Rocks. So that's the changes in the main board. As we can see, there's a little bit of spiciness, but if we look at it, if we look at the overall deck, it hasn't changed much. We're not expecting to see a very significant change in playstyle. We should be a little bit more prepared against control deck because of these 2 cards here. Yep, because of these 2 cards. These 2 cards are also great against this card. Maybe great is not the term, but the right term. They are good, or they're okay. Because this thing can be used twice. It has flashback. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the flashback, because it's actually very rare when we can actually get to 6 mana, which is most likely we need 6 land, because we don't want to crack a bloom or anything to get to to activate flashback. So it has happened against control deck when we mystical for Pact, flashback for Pact. It will help in corner cases. So it's great against this card just because I would say it's another piece of combo, and if they end up to discard this, we still have a very narrow way of casting it back. But it will prove much more useful against control deck, and it will help us just to grab piece of combo if we can't get it the normal way. And there is corner cases that it help us combo in turn 4 if we can do it turn 3. So of course it's 4 mana, so if we do it turn 3 we need the help of a Simian Spirit Guide or a Prism counter, but it will happen sometimes where we both have Prism and Bloom, Bloom Exile in turn 3, or Simian Spirit Guide and Bloom. So what we can do, we can teaching turn 3 for the piece of combo that we need, and combo with the Bloom on turn 4. So it will happen when this thing is actually helping us to combo faster, even though it looks like a clunky card. Now let's go to the sideboard. In the sideboard there is also a little bit of spiciness. Let's get this a little bit bigger. Perfect. So I'll just look at our Fallen Line of Sanctity. No comment about that. Patrician Scorn, just because I want to give this card another chance. He did help us against the Pyromancer Ascension, if we remember. He will help us against Blood Moon as well. So I still think that card has a place here. And in the past 10 matches we've played only once, was very helpful when we played it. I want to give it more chance. We have our Force Pact of Negation, we have our Giga Draws. We want to keep it because I always remember that game against Jeskai Control, when technically this card, if we top deck this, we would have simply won the game outright. Echoing Truth, I don't think I can ever remove that card. It's very useful against a lot of situations. I'm not gonna discuss about it again. We've discussed about it in the last deck tech. I'm gonna bring a Negate simply because I'm tempted actually, because as you can see I remove all the Pollen Lullaby. And why I want to play Negate, because I feel like it's gonna be of course great against Control if we can manage to do some to increase our war counter spare war tools. But once again, I feel very comfortable having this against a Blood Moon deck, for example, if we want to negate it turn 2. The problem is we don't always have 2 mana available turn 2 because of our temples. But I want to see how it plays out, a negate. And if we realize that it does help us, I think I would like to bring in more. It should be helpful against Infect as well. We can negate a Palm spell. We can do a lot of things. Negate is just a good card in general in any deck that plays blue. It's meaningful to bring negate, so why not try? One, it's not much, but especially I don't really like the once off in the side, because technically we almost never, if we don't play 10-20 match, we won't usually have the chance to see it. But here I have actually quite a bit of once off. But let's try it like way. Let's try it here. See if we can have any use of that. Slow the Pact Thoughtseize, no comment. And then the spiciness. I wanted to try that card for a long time. Dragon Lord Dromoka. Let's spend a couple of seconds looking at that card. It cannot be countered, so that's beautiful. It has flying lifelink. We do care about it, but that's not what we are after. We after are your opponents can't cast spell during your turn. So it's pretty much have the effect that we're trying to get with Giga Draws when we tap our opponent's land. And in here it says that please combo during your turn, and feel free to do it without worrying any interaction. Oops, I double click, so let's bring it back. So what is gonna happen is it's also going to be useful against simply aggro deck. If we can manage to drop this early, game 2 or 3, our opponents won't be able to deal with it. He will sideboard, so counter spell doesn't work, that's one thing, and he will sideboard Pass to Exile. He might keep Lightning Bolt, but it needs 3 Lightning Bolt to get rid of this. I'm not expecting that card to leave the battlefield while it enters game 2 or 3. And let's say that's yes, please come back. So if we manage, even though we don't have the combo in hand, we play against Burn or against Do, we can crack a Bloom to cast this thing, turn 4, for example. I think against Burn, that's already game over with the lifelink effect, and they have no way to deal with it because they would not bring Pass to Exile. And counters control deck, if we manage to cast this, it can't be countered, and then if they don't have a Pass to Exile, with, like I said, they most likely won't have it. We can just wait for our next turn and combo safely without them doing anything. So yes, we're just gonna experience the spiciness of Dragon Lord Dromoka, and we see that it needs a green, and that's also why we're gonna be happy to have 4 City of Brass, 4 Gemstone Mines, so that's 8 green mana, and of course we can always rely on our 8 mana rocks. So I believe we should be alright in terms of colored mana, but it might be a problem. We'll see how it plays out, but I do like the card. Now I'm playing Bosechu. I think my mouse has a problem. It says like, okay, so it was Nephalia Academy. So Nephalia Academy, that's the new land that has been reprinted not so long ago. That's gonna help us against this card. So it says that, okay. Well, it says that if a spell, what is going on? I'm sorry about that. Okay, so if a spell ability and opponent control causes us to discard a card, we'll just can choose to put it on top of our library. And so that will help us if our opponent's trying to discard our combo pieces, but it will help us in some cases, because if we, let's say, if we already have an opening end with Bloom, Angel Grace, Ad Nauseam, and End of Land, that will be helpful because our opponents cannot remove these cards, so it will just put them back on top of our library, but it won't prevent us to go for the combo. However, if we do not have already everything we need in hand, everything we're gonna draw after our opponents discard multiple times, we're just gonna draw, if we decide to put it on top, the same thing over and over, and we can't draw new cards. So if we don't have the combo, we're unlikely to get it back again. It's not unlikely; it's impossible because we keep drawing the same card. So yes, I've lost a game against Jund with a Nephalia Academy turn 1 on the play. That was just if he starts with Inquisition Liliana, that card is not gonna make it. So it's not quite a Leyline of Sanctity. We can call it our 5th Leyline of Sanctity ish, but there is case where it's going to help us. So yes, so I'm gonna try to get back this Bosechu if my mouse allows me to do so. And yep. All right, so that's it. We've seen the full deck, our 75, and then let's just jump straight into the first match of the League 3. This time I'll make sure that I register to a competitive league, because League 1 and 2 it was friendly league. Sorry. I don't think it matters that much, but to me the biggest difference is if we win a friendly league, first we get less reward because it's more evenly allocated between the players, and also we won't have our deck in MTG top 8 or any other deck list database, and that's really our target. We want to show and participate in the Ad Nauseam community by putting our deck in this database. Alright, so that's all for this deck tech. See you very soon for the first match of this League 3. Thank you all.